Oh, Poggers! My favorite Twitch streamer just went live. Better get ready to watch their stream. I really like Lethal Company.
That's a lot of nuts!
How exciting is it to be able to watch Twitch continually devolve into an adult platform? It feels like it happens every couple of months. As a dude who covers internet news, drama, memes, and what have you, it excites me because it gives me something that I know I can make a video on time and time again. But honestly, at a certain point, you have to imagine they're gonna learn from their mistakes, no? Just a little while ago, it was all the rage for all the female creators who were trying to advertise their adult-only platforms through their Twitch to be hanging out in hot tubs because Twitch changed the rules, saying that you can no longer just sit in a chair in your bedroom in a scantily clad bikini trying to advertise your OnlyFans. You were only allowed to wear a bikini in a setting that required a bikini. So, instead of going to the beach or hanging out by their private pools, they all just bought kiddie pools and thus became the hot tub meta. Almost none of which took place in a hot tub, almost all of which took place in an inflatable pool in their room, the absolute minimum money requirement, time investment requirement in order to be able to buy the book, wear a bikini on stream. You'd think it would end there, but no. Next came the ASMR meta. ASMR stands for, are you seriously making another ridiculous attempt at this? In which creators would be speaking and whispering into their high quality microphones to make it sound like they were whispering in your ear. But rather than make it adult themed or make one of those ASMRs that's like goth girlfriend beats you up in a Denny's and then cuddles you afterwards, they just used it as an excuse to wear athleisure, skin tight, casual, cleavage revealing. Listen, I know it sounds silly for me to be bitching about women showing off titties on Twitch. You've seen my Twitter likes, but honestly, between the pigeon heads and the vulva outlines that were on the front page of Twitch every day, it seemed ridiculous to even call this ASMR anymore. Now we make it to almost 2024. Years and years of knowledge and experimentation to duck and dodge between the moderation rules on Twitch to get away with advertising your OnlyFans. We've now made the Megazord, the ultimate in executing on the plan. What are we doing now? Turns out the ultimate plan to be able to get away with being sexy on Twitch is just to stream naked. That's the new meta, and I'm not even joking. They're not trying to trick the system anymore. Nobody's trying to make you believe that they're in a hot tub and therefore I'm in a bikini. Nope. They just have their tits out, and that's the game plan. The shocking thing? It worked! It's always hard to talk about the Twitch meta stuff without feeling like I'm bashing on women. I apologize, but it is usually the OnlyFans creators, the female OnlyFans models, that are the ones getting away with big stuff on Twitch that everybody's talking about. And all the examples that I was able to find on the front page and the ones people were getting outraged about on Twitter were of female content creators taking camera angles just cut off above their pepperonis. But if you guys do have examples of hot guy creators who are making similar content with the camera cut off just above their salami, my Twitter DMs are open. Which made an announcement, a policy update, a change in the rules for the entirety of the platform. Now, everybody has tied this in together with the growing popularity of the topless streamer meta. However, I don't necessarily think it was in response to that, at least not explicitly, but it definitely did affect one another. Twitch's announcement was basically trying to clarify what they allowed on their platform by using the new stream tags. Basically, when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, they had to make a tag that let people know that, hey, this game contains nudity, mature violence, blah, 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 in order to make it so that you had to opt in to view that stuff so that if you wanted to make a dwarf character with his cock out for your entire playthrough, it wouldn't get you banned because people had to agree that they wanted to watch that, and so they didn't have to worry about people getting shocked with that sort of stuff. They added similar stream tags for nudity, toplessness, realistic genitalia, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. The main one that people were paying attention to was the fact that they were now allowing artistic nudity in any form, any amount of nudity, genitalia, Jenna, tell me where to see it. Stream tags was an extremely poggers addition. It allowed you to be able to get away with stuff on Twitch that you really should have been able to do anyway. If you're playing a video game that had nudity in it, like Grand Theft Auto or Cyberpunk or Baldur's Gate 3, you shouldn't necessarily be violating Twitch's TOS because it's video game nudity. Even on YouTube, they give you a free pass if there's a pair of titties in GTA 5. That's not something that would get you banned the way that showing actual titties would. And the introduction of stream tags made it so that Twitch knew not to put the stuff on the front page and accidentally show nudity to somebody who wasn't logged in, might not be of age, and it might be the first thing they see on the website. Adding similar stream tags to everybody else who's nudity adjacent, whether it's body painting, toplessness, drawing nude art, made it so that they could do similar things without worrying about getting banned. That's a good change. However, packaged in with all of this stuff together was a few other changes that they made. They said that they were now allowing erotic dances, working, and as much as it seems like that would have been the thing that caused the most problems, the realistic change that resulted in this being a big deal was them giving a blanket go ahead for any sort of nudity that was artistic in nature. If you were drawing it, if you were painting it, if you were digitally creating it, and it was nudity, boobs, vagine, total green light. Much like how Twitch believed that making a category where all of the hot tub streamers could reside in, and it be its own isolated thing that you had to opt into so that it didn't flood the front page, they thought that stream tags would have the same impact. By tagging your content as something that contains that sort of nudity, they could allow creators to get away with stuff they couldn't get away with before, and they would be able to manage it accordingly because it would be tagged accordingly. The problem is that they did not anticipate just how ridiculous the idea of artistic nudity could be stretched and goatsied on the platform. One would think the realistic implications would be that the nudity on Twitch that is artistic in nature, somebody drawing or painting and maybe there's a titty or an ass cheek, wouldn't be any worse than the occasional nudity that you would see in video games, which has pretty much always had a green light since back when Cyberpunk launched, right? The issue is the definition of artistic nudity is wildly different depending on who you ask. Obviously, on the more innocent side of things, you can imagine somebody sketching a self-portrait and they've got some titty in it. That shouldn't get you banned. The other end of it was VTubers, people whose entire identity on the platform was already an artistic interpretation. So what stops somebody from having hyper-realistic jiggly demon tits to just start showing pepperoni and vagine? What stops furry Rule 34 artists from drawing the fattest, honestly impressive, dragon cock that you've ever seen in tremendous detail for 8 hours straight? That stuff continuing to be the stuff that gets plugged onto the front page, completely flooding the art tag of Twitch, immediately became a problem. 48 hours later, Twitch makes another update, another change to the rules on the platform. We take it back. You guys are fucking degenerates and you can't have anything nice. While their initial intentions were honestly, I think they were trying to do a good thing. They felt like they were overly punishing female creators who were doing things like body painting and cosplays and showing off cleavage, stuff that most male creators weren't getting punished for, and they were trying to make an even playing field. They overcorrected. They allowed too much by packaging everything together. They didn't think out everything that could have happened from the change, and as a result, they resulted in naked VTubers, people drawing hyper-realistic dragon cocks, and the entire art category being filled with stuff that they were unable to manage as quickly as they wanted to. So, Control Z, completely undo everything. Their update 2 days later was they nerfed it. They took it back. All the changes they made, every single change pertaining to artistic nudity has been completely reverted. You are no longer allowed to show nudity in that same context whatsoever. No more naked VTubers. I'm as sad as you are, I promise. No more Rule 34 artists just drawing massive dragon cocks, although I still expect my commissions, guys. Twitch has taken it all back, which sucks. But ironically, none of these rules touched at all on the topless content creators that seemingly was the thing that prompted this change. And so they've completely remained unchecked and unmoved by any of this because it didn't affect them to begin with. In fact, as of today, they have evolved into starting to use black censored bars. Some of them are actually wearing black censored bars as clothing, as like a meta to the meta. Which, again, every day I'm impressed. Twitch is in a constant power struggle and like identity crisis of what they want to accomplish. They understand that in order to be legitimate, they need to be the gaming site, the go-to place for live streamed media, whether that be big competitions, major events, professional gaming, live streamed sports. They have to be the go-to place for that if they want to be advertiser friendly. But they also recognize, as I'm sure you guys do too, that a huge amount of the money that goes through Twitch is Coomers donating to their queens. If you lose all the money that is being paid by thirsty dudes to girls who are just showing enough cleavage on the platform, you're cutting off an arm, a leg, and 3 of your balls in terms of financial stability, and it feels like that's not a hit they can take overnight, which is why we never see them make a definitive stance on just no nudity whatsoever. They want to allow it, or at the very least, they can't afford to block it altogether, but they keep making these changes that kind of tilt one way, and then they have to revert back to the other way, and then something happens where people are more naked on the front page, and then they got to do something, but they never do the right thing, and it just feels like Twitch doesn't have a good answer, because Twitch doesn't actually know what the end goal is. I've had videos on my YouTube channel temporarily taken down because I had a link in the description that linked to something that was of adult nature. When I was talking about Riley Reid or OncaZone or some other thing that was adult themed, YouTube is that strict about making sure that you don't link to anything of pornographic or adult nature in the description. Yet on Twitch, you can have it as your panel, you can have a link in the stream itself, you can have a chatbot spam to buy your amateur pornography every 5 minutes. It can be blared in your face that that stream exists as nothing more than a thinly veiled advertisement for pornography, and I feel like if Twitch is gonna try and put a stop to it, that's where you gotta draw the line. You gotta be okay with being like, it's okay for you to be hot on stream, but you cannot have a direct link to just selling pornography if you wanna be taken serious by advertisers. At least that's what YouTube does. And I feel like with it being as successful as it is, why would you not just follow in their footsteps? Also, somebody had gay sex in one of the Senate hearing rooms. I forgot to write any jokes about that, but that's also a thing that happened. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video at all. And down in the comments, let me know what is the craziest ASMR title you've seen. I've seen some ridiculous ones and I'm excited to find more. I'll catch you guys in next week's video, yeah? Peace!